What's going on, guys? It's GBP baby. Welcome back to another video. I hope everybody's doing well, and yeah, let's get straight into things. So as you can see, dollar has clearly traded lower. We failed to trade up and retrace as much as I was expecting, which is obviously showing a willingness to want to go lower and a lot of weakness. And yeah, we ran out both targets, which I expected to. I didn't expect us to take it out this quickly, but obviously we did, so now we need to adjust to that. It's very nice to see that we did draw to this, and this was obviously the clear draw on liquidity back from Friday. And now that those have been swept, we need to start thinking about where price is likely to move to and gravitate towards next. Now, first of all, I do want to bring our attention to this weekly fair value gap. The reason I never brought this up in yesterday's video is because I did not expect us to be getting down here this quickly. So now this is a potential draw, especially if we're going to remain bearish. So we need to have that marked out. And then the fact that we've run out sell stops below here means that there's potential now for premium PD arrays to be traded to. So let's now drop down to the daily and take a better look at price, and you can see how we came down, grabbing those stops, and we've just retraced back into our range, and we're now at that weekly rejection block level, which is right here. So how am I looking at price now? Well, to be honest, the fact that we have this weekly fair value gap right here, I'm not convinced that dollar's necessarily finished. Another reason I'm not convinced that it's just finished and that, you know, we're going to start trading higher straight away is because when we do hit out a significant swing low, price tends to go into it twice. So what do I mean by that? I'll give you a diagram right now. So when price trades into a low like what we have, it's very typical for price to go into it one more time before getting a full-on reversal. So this low right here, we've traded into it once. Now I wouldn't be surprised if price did want to get down there one more time, especially considering there's a weekly fair value gap down here. Also, another thing on the weekly is the fact that we now have relative equal lows. So this low and this low, very clean, as in they're very close to each other. So this is going to be weekly south side liquidity. So it's possible that price may want to draw down there again, moving into Tuesday and Wednesday, and then attempt to try and trade down into that fair value gap. So we do need to be very wary of this, and I'm definitely not seeing this as a reversal. Let's go to the daily again, and then what do we see? Well, the sell side liquidity has now been tagged. Let's grey that out because, well, it's been traded to. And then this rejection block level has also been traded to. Now, rejection blocks aren't something I'm very strong on. And what I mean by that is that I don't really know how to treat them once they've been traded to. So I'm just going to get rid of that completely, just to create less confusion. And what I am going to do is draw our attention to an inversion fair value gap that we now have. So between this high and this low on the daily, if we drag that through, we've now closed. Well, we've got 2 hours left, but it looks like we're going to close below it, meaning that this PD array now should provide resistance. So if you watched yesterday's video, and if you haven't, I do suggest you go watch it. But if you watched yesterday's video, you remember me saying this is a weekly inversion fair value gap, meaning that if price trades into it, I want to see resistance. We didn't trade into it. We traded straight on lower. The fact that that's happened, I now need to look at potential PD arrays above market that should continue to provide resistance to keep sending it lower. So as price is trading lower, we're continuously looking for PD arrays and things to key off that will support price. And then if it doesn't, then we know that we're on the wrong side, or there's, you know, been some kind of reversal. So now I'm watching this as a daily inversion fair value gap. And I'm watching this level now to see, okay, if we do chase into that, how is price treating it? Are we finding resistance? And if we do, then we can expect us to continue trading lower and potentially reach for the weekly fair value gap. Now, these markets are very difficult. Definitely don't be kicking yourself, guys. But yeah, another thing to take note of. Let me just make this line white. Now, I've only got my eyes set. Ooh. I've only got my eyes set on this now. I don't care about this anymore. Why? Because we have a new PD array that we need to pay attention to. We no longer need to pay attention to these. Don't get me wrong, they are still relevant, and it is likely price will eventually get back up there. However, for now, my eyes are fully set on this daily inversion fair value gap. So now what we're going to do is we're going to drop down to a lower time frame and see if we can find anything surrounding that. So let's go to the 4 hour, and you'll see our price is retraced. We have a nice bearish order block at the very top of it on the 4 hour. So let's make that black, and we can put 4 hour bearish order block. And assuming we are still bearish, price should react to it. So we'll keep that marked out on our charts. and it's also coupled with a nice fair value gap as well, so we'll make that red. So there's potential for price to want to reach up into this range, and if it does, we need to see, okay, do we get a reaction? Let me double check if there's high impact news tomorrow. Bear with me. So tomorrow there is no high impact news, so we might find that price is just kind of meandering around within this range between this high and this low. I wouldn't be surprised if price meandered around, but I am looking to see if price can draw up into that. So this is where I'm expecting price to draw to. After that, it's either going to continue lower and aim for that weekly inversion fair value gap, or it's going to completely disrespect it, and then we are going to start thinking about this premium. But right now, my eyes are just set on this range and seeing if price can get up there. Why? We've grabbed sell side liquidity, we've had a nice reaction to the upside, and on this time frame, there's a fair value gap and a bearish order block up there. So I'm looking to see if price can reach inside of it. Let's go to the 1 hour. And you'll see there's a little breaker here, this last up close candle before the down move. We've closed above it now, so this is the change in the state of delivery. Let's look at that. Right there. So I'm happy for price to trade back into this. However, I'd expect it to provide support, because remember, I'm looking for that fair value gap to get traded to and those bearish order blocks right there. So yeah, that's pretty much what I'm expecting tomorrow. Let's go to the 15-minute really quick. And you'll see nice little consolidation right there. Let's drag that out. Grey it as well. I tend to grey all my consolidations. I tend to make grey, but nonetheless, this should be able to help provide support. This is the change in the state of delivery. I have a fair value gap there as well. This order block should help hold price as well. So I'm looking at these levels right here. I don't expect price to need to go back below here tomorrow until we reach up into this premium. So I'm expecting price to keep drawing on higher until it reaches here, and then we've got to stop and wait, because remember, this is a 4-hour bearish order block, so we might get a nice reaction off of that. The fact that there isn't high impact news, we do need to be careful of that. We might find that we're meandering around and not. We have relatively equal highs here on the 5-minute, but what I'm saying is that we might not get there till, say, Wednesday when there is news, and then based off that, it will use it and then send price lower. But generally speaking, I'm bullish up until here. Remember, I did draw our attention to this, but this is no longer relevant right now, because we need to see how we treat this level right here, this inversion, daily inversion fair value gap. But you can see that we clearly had a reversal in terms of coming down, grabbing stops, failure swing, and a trade on higher, back into a breaker, that up close candle before the down move, and then you can see expansion. So we're looking for institutional sponsorship. We want to see price continuously get supported and sponsored to get up to these levels. So that's how I'm looking at dollar right now. Now GBP has been misbehaving. This, guys, makes me sad. This makes me so upset. I don't even think I'm going to bother review it right now, because what the, I'm sure you can relate, because what is that, honestly? Anyway, if we're expecting higher prices, we can expect to level off bearishness on pound, and pound is obviously already weak, so it's potential that pound may want to expand extremely weaker. You know what, let's get a few things marked out on pound just because. So we didn't fill this fair value gap in, so there's potential for price to want to draw down into that. This is all assuming that dollar is going to trade on higher up into its, into this level, which I'm expecting, which is also the low of Friday's wick, which is also quite interesting. So we might see rebalancing happening there, and then we trade on lower. But generally speaking, as dollars retracing back into that, I'm watching pound very closely to see, okay, can it get down into this fair value gap, because pound's clearly a lot weaker. So it's okay for pound to be taking out lows, because it look at it. So that means there's sell side liquidity below here. There's now 2 daily lows, Monday low, Friday low. That failure swing that we had today on Monday, it's created relatively equal lows. This is juicy, this is juicy as in it should be an easy draw on liquidity for pound to get down there, assuming we do want to get down there. This consolidation, it seems like it's keeping pound in keeping it in order, as in we shouldn't be able to trade through that as of now. I'm going to get rid of this weekly, we're going to keep the weekly consequent encroachment. Why? Because once we're below it, we may use it as resistance. Let's go to the 1 hour again. Disgusting, but I wouldn't be surprised if we saw expansion again. 3 a.m. I'm looking around 3 a.m. London to hopefully look for potential setups to help us send us down into fill the rest of that fair value gap in. So yeah, that's everything I'm going to say on pound for now. Just because, look at it, I wouldn't be trading this if I was you guys, but it is what it is. It is interesting to see that we do have relative equal highs up here. So if we look this high, even this high, yes, we've grabbed those stops today on Monday. So we've grabbed stops, and now we're looking, premium discount. So this is also an example of why I want a confluence as to why I want to see lower prices. But I do generally like how clean these highs are, and I'll be looking at these moving into Wednesday, Thursday and Friday to see, okay, once we've done this, now and then maybe price will want to try and reach up there, assuming dollar does reverse. But right now I'm just focused on pound getting deeper into the mud. Euro, who's behaving a little bit better. Hopefully you've watched my other video. I've done a little back testing video. I'm going to start trying to drop them daily as well. Euro ran for both of the targets we expected. Again, I didn't expect it to all happen on Monday, but it did. Ran up buy side here, ran up buy side here. But like I said, it may not be done. So that means that price still has, possibility for us to trade higher. Let's go to the weekly. Are there any PD arrays? There's a fair value gap right here. Has it been filled? So this has been filled now. Oh, just about being filled. So let's go to the 4 hour. And if we're expecting dollar to trade on higher, no, sorry, let me see this. Yeah, if we're expecting dollar to retrace back up into this range, then that means we need to look where euro could be pulling back into. So we do have a nice bullish order block right here. Let's get this marked out. We can put 4 hour bullish order block, similar to the one we saw on dollar. It's nice to see that we traded through our buy side targets. I'm going to remove these. And yes, remember, I was speaking about this in yesterday's video. Did we touch them? No, we didn't. It doesn't mean they're irrelevant. It just means that we're not paying attention to that anymore. We're in a different place now. Now I'm looking at different targets. I'm looking at closer targets. So you can see how my discount targets are now moving with price, So now I need to see, can we get to here? Forget this level. Can we get to here first? And then we can start thinking about these. But generally speaking, with dollar moving higher, I'd like to think that we can see some downwards pressure on euro to move lower, especially considering it's filled in that weekly fair value gap. But like I said, with no news tomorrow, we may find ourselves in quite a bit of a heavy consolidation. Nonetheless, there's that 4 hour bullish order block. Also lines up with a 1 hour bullish order block. Very convenient. A nice swing low right here for sell stops. Sell side liquidity below there. In terms of setups themselves, we do have a breaker. I'm looking at this down close candle. Why? It's the last down close candle that caused the big move up. So this is our breaker. We traded into it here. Well, kind of, quite disrespectfully. And then now that means moving into the new day, I want to see, can that still provide resistance? So let's get that marked out. And ideally, price will be retracing into that before it gets down to this sell side target and reaching that 4 hour bullish order block I was talking about. So I'll be paying close attention to this. Any higher than that, we might want to wonder on higher. I don't know where to, but it does look tired out. So that's why I'm going to keep this out, because I'd like to think that this can provide a nice level of resistance. Let's go to the daily, because we didn't look at that properly. And then what we can do is we can look at this massive wick, and then that 50% level, which is consequent encroachment, very highest. I don't want to see price trade, very highest, assuming we are bearish to this extent. So I hope this all makes sense, guys. It is very difficult conditions. I haven't seen price action this ugly since earlier this year. I was saying in the Discord server, like, I haven't seen stuff like this in ages. So it is very difficult. Don't kick yourselves over it. It is what it is. Hopefully you find the backtesting video useful. You can watch that. It should be posted around the same time as this video. But yeah, thanks so much for watching, guys. Don't forget to drop a like, drop a comment, smash subscribe, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.